Strangely enough, that's actually the cure to some degree to post-traumatic stress disorder. Is that, like, if you've been victimized, you're naive and you've been victimized, the way out of that is to no longer be naive and to no longer be victimized.
I make things clear. I could have killed you all, I didn't. And here we are. I'm gonna remove my weapon. Show that I mean to negotiate in good faith. I'd like you to do the same. May I?
The proclivity to be polite in a conversation is very strong. And if you're polite, you don't object to the way that the person unfolds their strategy, you know. And psychopaths are pretty good at figuring out how to manipulate. And one of the things that you see, this is worth knowing too, because if you're preyed upon by a psychopath, which you will be to some degree at some point in your life, the psychopath who will be narcissistic will presume that you're stupid and that you deserve to be taken advantage of because you're naive and stupid. So it's actually a good thing that he's doing it. And his proof for, and I'm saying he because there are more male psychopaths, and so the psychopath will use his ability to fool you as proof of his own grandiose omnipotence, omniscience, and narcissism.
Save the bullets for the real threat. We can solve this. That's why I asked you to come here.
I know what you've done. I heard about the raids, the heads, Maggie. Merle did that. No. You know what I'm talking about. You know all about me, and I know all about you. I don't care about any of that. We're here to move forward.
The way that you keep the psychopaths at bay is to develop the inner psychopath so that you know one when you see one, right? And then, but that's a voluntary thing. So it's like a set of tools that you have at your disposal, which is full knowledge of evil. And that does, Nietzsche said, if you look into an abyss for too long, you risk having the abyss gaze back into you, right?
Wasn't Merle your lieutenant?
He was helpful, yeah.
But you knew he was erratic. You blame him for scooping up Glenn and Maggie in the first place?
Exactly. I was trying to sort it out when you attacked.
So it was his fault?
He's a wild card, but he's effective. He gets the dirty jobs done.
I thought you'd take responsibility.
I thought you were a cop, not a lawyer.
Either way, I don't pretend to be a governor.
I told you I'm the leader.
You're the town drunk who knocked over my fence or ripped up my yard. Nothing more.
Didn't you ever misjudge someone? Andrea told me about your baby. That it might be your partner's. But you're caring for her, and I admire that. Restitution for your own lack of insight. For failing to see the devil beside you.
Oh, I see him all right.
Right. The idea is that if you look at something monstrous, you have a tendency to turn into a monster. And people are often very afraid of looking at monstrous things exactly for that reason. And then the question is, well, should you turn into a monster? And the answer to that is, yes, you should. But you should do it voluntarily and not accidentally. And you should do it with the good in mind rather than falling prey to it by possession, essentially, because that's the alternative. Now, how does it possess you? That's easy.
There's no need for her to suffer.
She doesn't have needs.
Don't hurt my little girl. Please don't.
Your suffering makes you bitter. Your bitterness makes you resentful. Your resentment makes you vengeful. And once you're on that road, you go down that a little bit farther, man.
You have something that I want. I want Michonne. Turn her over and this all goes away. She worth it. One woman worth all those lives of your prison. Is she?
What the hell are you doing? We need to dig in!
It's not worth it.
That was a slaughter!
Bunch of pussies! Told you we should have handled this shit ourselves.
When we're done fighting for a hole with a half-dozen psychopaths living in it, they can keep it.
You've seen what they've done. Attacked us. They killed my boy. We're going back.
We are not soldiers. Want us to kill miners? Of course, but this is...
And so if you're treating someone with post-traumatic stress disorder, first they need an introduction to the philosophy of malevolence, and second they have to learn to become dangerous, because that's the only way out. What's the alternative? They get these recurrent thoughts about their vulnerability in the face of malevolence and their own naivety, because by definition, if someone psychopathic has exploited you, you're too naive. It's a definitional issue. You can say, well, that's no fault of mine. How the hell could I be prepared? Fair enough, man. A perfectly reasonable objection. Doesn't solve your problem.
What you want? Is this what any of you want?
What we want is what you got. Period. Time for you to leave, asshole.
Look, I fought him before. And after we took in his old friends, they become leaders in what we have here. Now you put down your weapons, walk through those gates. You're one of us. We let go of all of it. And nobody dies. Everyone who's alive right now. Everyone who's made it this far. We've all done the worst kinds of things just to stay alive. But we can still come back. We're not too far gone. We get to come back. I know. We all can change.
Liar.
How do you deal with tragedy and malevolence? And you can say, well, I'm not prepared. It's like, yeah, fair enough. The snakes are going to come into the garden, no matter what you do. least in fantasy. So, you know, it's the full package if you want to go down that route. Of course, people don't like to think about that sort of thing, and it's no bloody wonder, but without the capability for mayhem, you're a potential victim to mayhem. So you need your sword. You come into contact with Seth, what happens? Even if you're a god, you lose an eye. It's no joke, man. It's no joke. And then the cure for that is the movement down into the underworld and the revitalization of the Father.
Folks there taking people in, they have to be strong. They have to have a system.
I wonder if the whole thing's legit.
We let people in.
We did. So did the governor.
Yeah, it's always the thing, isn't it? Don't get to know until we know. Maybe this place isn't even there anymore.
Oh, dearie me. You screwed up, asshole. You hear me? You screwed up.